Madam Speaker, I rise today to address the ongoing baby formula crisis and urge my colleagues to support the Bulk Infant Formula to Retail Shelves Act. I raised 2 kids, and I know the first months of parenthood are tiring and stressful, even in the best of circumstances. But families across the country remain in a challenging position as they try to find formula that they need to feed their babies. Nationally, 61% of formula shelves are still empty. In my home state of Washington, it's been hit harder, with 67% of formula shelves empty. While that's an improvement from the May nationwide high of 86%, we in Congress have an obligation to do more. Part of the improvement we've seen over the last few months can be attributed to legislation that I led with Chairman Blumenauer, Ranking Member Adrian Smith, and my Ways and Means colleagues back in July that lifted tariffs on imported baby formula. This chamber and the Senate passed the legislation with overwhelming bipartisan support. There are still more actions, though, that Congress can take to support families, and that's what this legislation that we will vote on today will do. Consider what this legislation would mean to parents. Jessie is a mom in my district and has been struggling to find formula for her 7-month-old daughter, Amara. She is not one to ask for help often, but when she was running low on her last can, Jessie joined a local social media group where other parents would post where they saw formula on the shelves, and she downloaded an app that would notify her when more cans were available and made backup plans for donated breast milk if it came to that. Jessie was able to find formula in the end, but realizes that she is one of the lucky parents that had the means and the network to support her daughter. Not all parents have these resources. The Bulk Infant Formula to Retail Shelves Act would boost domestic baby formula production and get more product on our shelves. It would do so by lifting tariffs through the end of the year on safe imported base powder. This is a key component filled with essential proteins, fats, and carbohydrates that are mixed with other nutrients and ingredients to make the formula that parents buy on store shelves or online. Lifting these tariffs and getting more formula on physical shelves would be especially helpful for families participating in the WIC program, Women, Infant, and Children. The WIC program, parents must use those resources in brick and mortar retail stores, and that can't be used for online purchases currently. About half of the baby formula purchased in the United States is purchased through WIC. This legislation has strong bipartisan support from the leadership of the Ways and Means Trade Subcommittee, Chair Blumenauer, Ranking Member Adrian Smith, and my subcommittee colleagues, Representatives John Larson, Dan Kildee, and Drew Ferguson. In the Senate, we're supported by Senators Mike Lee, Bob Menendez, Todd Young, and Mike Braun. Families need our help, and they need it now. I urge my colleagues to support this bill with the same speed and bipartisan force as they did 2 months ago. We've worked hand in hand with our Senate partners to ensure that this measure will pass immediately. We can't delay while parents are struggling to feed their children. So I urge my colleagues to support this legislation, and I reserve the balance of my time.